So, hello guys. Today we are going to talk about circle of Willis. So, focus in this diagram. Before we go forward, you have to know the origin of two arteries. So, focus here. This internal carotid artery. What is the origin of internal carotid artery, and what is the origin of this vertebral artery? So, focus in this heart in the downside. I just draw it for you. So, if you see here, you can see this is our left. So, this is our left ventricle. And as you know, from the left ventricle, we have the aorta. And this aorta has three major parts. One, we say this ascending part or ascending aorta. Then we say this is aortic arch. And whatever goes down, we say this is descending aorta. So like for instance, if you say this is our descending aorta. I hope you get. Now we know descending aorta has two major naming. So focus here. So if this is our diaphragm and this is our sternum, so absolutely you know that our aorta goes from here to here and it ends like you know that common iliac artery. So in the thoracic cavity you say the thoracic aorta, and in the abdominal cavity you say abdominal aorta. So hope you got this one. Now focus again in the aortic arch. Okay, so this is our aortic arch. So in this aortic arch you can find three vessels emerging. So again, this is right side and this is left side. So the first branch is this one, which is known as our cephalobrachial artery, a brachiocephalic artery. Then we have this one, which is known as our left common carotid artery, and this one is known as what? Left subclavian artery, right? Now focus to this one, which is our brachiocephalic artery. It divides into two branches. This one is our right common carotid artery, and this one is our what? Yes, right subclavian artery. So I hope up to this is clear. Now let's focus first to the vertebral artery. So focus in the right subclavian artery. So in the right subclavian artery, it gives rise as a branch, and focus in the left subclavian artery, you can see that it gives a branch. So this branch is known as our vertebral artery. So you have two vertebral arteries corresponding left and right. And you can see this portion is what? This portion is our cervical vertebra, right? And as you know, if this is our vertebral body, and if it has something like this, actually it has, by the way, so it is known as transverse process. So you can see in the transverse process of cervical vertebra, there is a foramen like this. So through this foramen, actually the vertebral artery goes upward. So it's going upward. So here you can see the right vertebral artery. Here you can see the left vertebral artery going upward. So vertebral artery is clear. Now come to the common carotid artery first. So let's focus here. Common carotid artery. If this one is right common carotid artery, and you know when there is a naming like that common, you know it will further goes and bifurcate into two. So definitely it will bifurcate into two. So focus in the right side. So here you can see a bifurcation. Focus in the left side again. Here you can see a bifurcation. So you can say this one. Focus here in the right side. This one is what? This one is our right internal carotid artery, and this one will be right external carotid artery. Go to the left side. You can focus here. You can see that this is our left internal carotid artery, and this is our right internal carotid artery. So in this diagram, what is the takeout point? Again, the takeout point is how or what is the origin of this internal carotid artery, and what is the origin of the vertebral artery. So I hope this one is clear. Let's now move to our next diagram. So come here. In this diagram, first we are going to find our vertebral and internal carotid artery. So focus here. You can see this artery is what? Internal carotid artery. Okay, this one is what? Internal carotid artery. So I hope this is clear. And focus here. This is our what? Vertebral artery. And this is what? Our vertebral artery. So again, you know we have two vertebral arteries and two internal carotid arteries. Okay, clear? So at least we can point out the internal carotid arteries and our vertebral arteries. Now focus in the brain. So let's focus in this region. So what is this region? So it will be very easy if you guys already saw my lecture of ascending tract. So this is our medulla oblongata. Okay. Now, so before going forward, let me remind one thing. So if you see this artery, you know what? This artery is our internal carotid artery. To be more specific, this is our left internal carotid artery. Okay. And again, focus this one. So this is what? This is our vertebral artery. So to be more specific, it will be left vertebral artery. Now, in this 3D diagram, you can appreciate that our internal carotid arteries are anterior. Internal carotid arteries are anterior and vertebral arteries are posterior. Okay. So this concept will be needed in the future. We have to remember that. So again, so you know in this diagram where the medulla oblongata is located. Again, let's focus in this one. So I hope you can say what is this structure. This is our pons. Okay. So again, remember P for pons and P for pregnant. And you can see, appreciate in this picture, the pons is kind of swelling like a pregnant lady. So that one is clear. Now focus in this structure. Structure is very important. When you study neuroanatomy, you have to be very comfortable with this structure. So this is what? This is our cerebellum. Now, what is this structure? So here we got one structure and here we got another this structure. So this is our temporal lobe. Now, we got this structure here, and again we got our this structure here. So this is what our frontal lobe. Yeah. Sorry for that. Again, this is what this is our parietal lobe. Okay, frontal lobe, parietal lobe. So I hope you are comfortable with these structures now. Now here we are going to focus in the vertebral arteries. So again, this is one vertebral arteries. This is another vertebral arteries. Now you can appreciate these vertebral arteries are going to fuse together at the level of pontomedullary junction. So when I say pontomedullary junction, you can identify easily pons and medulla oblongata, and you can easily find the junction. At the junction point, these two vertebral arteries are going to fuse. So these two vertebral arteries, they fuse, and this artery, the single fused artery, is known as vertebral artery. So this fused artery is known as what? Vertebral artery. So in the level of medulla oblongata, you can see which artery? Vertebral artery. At the level of pons, which artery you can see? Basilar artery. Okay. So hope this is clear. Now again, focus here. From this vertebral artery and from this vertebral artery, you can see one big branch is coming. So this one. Okay. Again, this one. So let's suppose this one. So this is supplying what? Cerebellum. So you will say which artery is this? This is our posterior, inferior cerebellar artery. Okay. Now, again, when you are comfortable with this, now let's focus in this basilar artery. So in this basilar artery, from this basilar artery, at the lower portion of this basilar artery, you can see this artery is coming. Again, this artery is coming here. So this artery is supplying to what? Cerebellum. So this is known as what? Anterior, inferior cerebellar artery. Okay. Okay. Now, to this again, focus in the basilar artery. So this basilar artery, and you can see this small branches coming. The small branches. So what is this small branches? So these small branches are supplying to where? To the pons. So these are known as pontine branch. Hope this is clear. Again, from the superior portion of the basilar artery, focus here, from the superior portion of the basilar artery, you can see this one branch is coming and supplying to our cerebellum. Again, this one branch is coming down and supplying to our cerebellum. So this is known as what? This is known as only superior cerebellar artery. So just focus up to this one for now. So you can say, sir, this is kind of difficult because again, cerebellum has 3 arteries, right? We can from this diagram you can easily appreciate that. So if this one is one artery coming to here, again if this one is another artery is coming to here, and if from here if there is another artery coming to here, so you can say there are 3 arteries supplying to the cerebellum. Focus this one. So this one is what, at the superior level. So definitely you can say this is our superior cerebellar artery, no doubt about that. But focus the last 2 or below 2. So these are known as, these 2 are known as inferior cerebellar artery. But as you can see, if so, focus in this mini diagram. So one artery is coming from at the level of pons, another artery is coming from at the level of medulla oblongata. So as you can see, the artery which is coming from this pons level, which is more anterior, and which is coming from the medulla level, which is posterior. That's why we say this artery is known as what? Anterior inferior cerebral artery, and this one is what? Posterior inferior cerebral artery. Alright. So I hope you can now easily say this artery, which one is what. Now let's move forward. Now here we are already know the basic things, but again I would like to remind you, if you guys forward. So this is what? So this region is what? Medulla oblongata. Okay, because these things are very important. So what is this region? Again, this region is pons. So this region and this region is what? Our cerebellum. Focus here. This region and this region is what? Our temporal lobe. So focus here. This region and this region is what? Our frontal lobe. Good. Now here you can see one region very small, and again you can see a one very small region here. This is our occipital lobe. So we are clear with this. So again, let's come to our basics. So as you know, this is our vertebral artery. This is our vertebral artery. At the level of pontomedullary junction, you know, this vertebral artery will fuse and form what? Basilar artery. So I taught you guys up to this, right? So remember this one. This basilar artery will now terminate into 2 arteries like this. So now I hope you can appreciate the structure. Okay. So again, let me remind you guys. So this one. So again, from let's do it again. Let's do it again. So this is our vertebral artery. This is our vertebral artery. It will fuse. Okay. So vertebral artery is at the level of medulla oblongata. At the pontomedullary junction, it will fuse and forms what? Basilar artery. So where you can find the basilar artery at the level of pons. And as you guys know, above the pons, what is midbrain? Okay. If you don't know these common structures, go to my ascending tracts video, and there I taught those things. It will be very easy for you guys. So again, whatever. So from this basilar artery, this superior part like this, and this superior part like this. So this part is known as what? This part is known as our posterior cerebral artery. Okay, posterior cerebral artery. Clear? Now, if you guys are comfortable with this structure, now let's talk about the branches and their supply. So let's focus again from basilar artery. So here, so here focus in the downward section. So here I write down the vertebral arteries give rise 5 branches. So we are going to describe this one by one. Okay, but whatever, we are going to discuss the main branch. Okay, whatever. So this is our vertebral artery. This is our vertebral artery. So this vertebral artery will give rise first branch. What is written down here? Posterior inferior cerebellar artery. So this one is what? Posterior cerebellar inferior artery, which is supplying what? Cerebellum. The second part is what? Anterior spinal artery. So what is anterior spinal artery? Focus here in the diagram. So from the vertebral artery, you can see here one branch and here one branch comes and fuse together. And definitely you have to remember this is our posto-anterior. So this diagram, okay. So this whole diagram is what? Posto-anterior diagram. Okay. So this is anterior but inferior. So sorry, anto-inferior diagram. Okay. So again, so this is our what? So this is our anterior spinal artery. Then medullary artery. So what is this medullary artery? So this vertebral artery, so you know, again vertebral artery is located where? Medulla. So it will give rise these small branches to the medulla. So this will known as medullary artery. Like if you want to know analogy, as you can see, focus in the basilar artery. Basilar artery is located where? Medulla. So it will give rise these small branches, which is known as what? Pontine artery. Okay. Then it will written down here meningeal branches. Yes. Now from here it is not given here. So here there will be some branches which will supply to our meninges. And again, the last one is posterior spinal artery. So posterior spinal artery is what? So if this is our spinal cord, as you guys already know from anterior side. So let's do this one more clearly. From anterior side, you can see we already know this is anterior spinal artery, but from the posterior side there will be one artery which is known as posterior spinal artery. So hope this is clear. So now we are done with this 5 branches of posterior cerebral. Sorry, 5 branches of vertebral artery. Now let's focus to this basilar artery. So again, this is our basilar artery. No doubt about that. Located where? Pons, as you can see in this diagram. So first branch is what? Pontine branches. So pontine branches, you can easily say these branches are what? All branches are pontine branches. No doubt about that. Okay. The second branch is what? Anterior inferior cerebral artery. So this branch is known as what? Anterior cerebral inferior artery. So as per the diagram, you can easily say it is supplying to our cerebellum. The third is one labyrinthine artery. So here you can see one artery. So it will go to supply the labyrinth. Where is the labyrinth? To the air. Yes. So here. So here our labyrinthal artery will go and supply. So fourth one is what? Superior cerebellar artery. So now focus here. From this, the lower part, and from this, the lower part, it goes to where? This cerebellum. Again, it goes to where? Cerebellum. So this is known as what? Superior cerebellar artery. And the last one is what? Posterior cerebral artery. So posterior, here you can write cerebral. So posterior cerebral artery. So the last one from here, as you can see, it's going to our temporal lobe. Again, from here, it's going to our temporal lobe. So this is known as what? Posterior cerebral artery. So from this diagram, you can easily figure this out. But regarding this posterior cerebral artery, I will again draw it. So if this is our posterior cerebral artery and this is our posterior cerebral artery, so definitely you can see it is supplying our inferior surface of the temporal lobe. But there is one occipital branch. So focus here, this one. So again, I already told you this portion is was occipital. So occipital branch. So it will give rise an occipital branch which will supply what? Occipital lobe. Okay. Okay. So up to this now, you can easily say what are the branches of the vertebral artery and basilar artery. Now let's move forwards and focus on the internal carotid artery. Again, I already told you guys where the internal carotid arteries are coming from. Okay. Okay. So if you are, again, if you want to visualize in this diagram, so focus in this point. Okay, focus in the diagram from this point. Okay. Now focus. This is our internal carotid artery. This is our internal carotid artery. Okay. So this is the direction from where the internal carotid arteries are coming. Clear? Okay. So if you are clear with this concept, so I am not going to overdo all the lobes where is the cerebellum and other structure, but I like to highlight some points. So again, this is our temporal lobe, as you can see, and here you can see this temporal lobe is cutted, half cutted. Okay. So this point you have to remember. Okay, now come to here. What is the first thing you are going to notice? So I already told you this is our internal carotid artery. This is our internal carotid artery. Now focus here in the, okay, if this is our right side and if this is our left side, now focus to the right side. So this internal carotid artery will continue like this And this artery will be known as what? This artery will be known as middle cerebral artery. So here you can see in the left side, it is sandwiched in between this temporal lobe and the frontal lobe. So that's why I told you the temporal lobe is cut. So it is sandwiched in between these two lobes. That's why you cannot see here. So from this concept, when you can easily say that our middle cerebral artery is supplying to our temporal lobe, no doubt about that. And you can easily say if these branches are what branches? These are going to our frontal lobe, and it's going even more deep. So you can say it will going to supply to what? Our parietal lobe, the cortex of the parietal lobe, right? Now, if you are done with this, let's focus here. Now let's focus here. Here is one branch like this and one branch like this, which is coming from where? Internal carotid artery. So this branch is known as what? Anterior cerebral artery. So this branch is known as what? Anterior cerebral artery. So how this is located? So again, if you think this is our cerebral hemisphere, one cerebral hemisphere, as you know, our cerebral hemisphere is connected with what? Corpus callosum. So now think this anterior cerebral artery is running like this. Okay, it's running like this, and it's supplying to where? The medial part of the cerebral hemisphere, right? Okay, so you can easily say this one. Now let's come. So again, you already know where is the middle cerebral artery, anterior cerebral artery. So here is anastomosis. We have to know two important anastomosis. So what are the two important anastomosis here? So first, here you see this one. Sorry. So let's see this one. So this anastomosis is where located? Anterior cerebral artery. This is known as anterior communicating artery, right? And focus here, you can see this one anastomosing artery. And this anastomosing artery is anastomosing to what? You can now easily say, okay, this is anastomosing with our, you can say maybe it is internal carotid artery, or you can say this is middle cerebral artery to what? To our posterior cerebral artery. So a middle cerebral artery is anastomosing with posterior cerebral artery via what? So this is known as what? This is known as our posterior communicating artery, and this structure is known as, this anastomosing artery is known as what? Anterior communicating artery. So now these things are making now sense, right? Okay. Now here we got another two arteries. One is known as anterior choroidal artery. So definitely this internal carotid artery will give rise some branches which are going directly to our choroid. And there will be one ophthalmic artery, as you know. These are, so as you know, these are optic chiasma, right? So along this side there will be what? Ophthalmic artery, right? So I hope these things are now clear. Now let's move to our next diagram. Oh no, this is our time. So again, I hope this is the main concept here. Now when we say circle of Willis, so now focus here. What is the circle of here is one structure. So here is one structure you can easily appreciate. So this, so again, one by one. So this is what? This is our anterior communicating artery. So this is what? Our right anterior cerebral artery. This is our what? Left internal left cerebral artery, right? This is what? Our left middle cerebral artery. This is what? Our right middle cerebral artery. This is what? Our left posterior communicating artery. This is what? Our right posterior communicating artery. And here we got what? Our, this is our right posterior cerebral artery, and this is what? Our left posterior cerebral artery. So this structure is known as circle of Willis, because why? Because you can see these are all communicating together. So this is how you can easily develop the circulation, right? Okay, now hope this quick video makes sense, and if you do like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please go in the comment section and write it down. Thanks for now.